Hi, I'm Carmen Seitz, and I am a junior international business major at the University of Arkansas. The piece that I chose for my final project is Capri Girl on Rooftop by John Singer Sargent. I bumped into this piece in the 19th Century Gallery at Crystal Bridges while I was visiting with my younger sister. I hadn't seen this piece before, even though I've been to Crystal Bridges quite a few times, and I thought it was super interesting, and I decided that I wanted to use it for my project. After doing more research into the history of this piece, I learned that John Singer Sargent was an American expatriate who was born in Florence, Italy, to wealthy parents in 1856. He studied everywhere from Italy, Germany, and France, and eventually ended up in Paris. He's known for being a great portrait artist and has painted American presidents like Teddy Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson, all the way to Joseph Chamberlain and Madame Gautreau. As I looked more into my piece specifically, I saw that John Singer Sargent, this is him, I noticed that his pieces on the island of Capri all were kind of centered around this woman, Rosina Ferreira. Lots of artists during the time would escape to the island of Capri for the culture and the relaxation, but also for the beautiful exotic people that lived on the island. And Rosina Ferreira was the muse for most of Sargent's collection on the island of Capri. And she is kind of the center of his art piece. Eventually, she marries an artist and moves back to the United States. This is Capri Girl on Rooftop by John Singer Sargent. I think that I was initially drawn to this piece because of the dancing movement that you see from the woman right here. I love dancing, so whenever I looked more into this piece, it kind of reminded me of a time that I danced on a rooftop in Greece with some friends while I was doing an art history study abroad, actually. As I kind of looked at this piece more and learned more about Impressionism, I saw the cropped format that you see here and how it is kind of comes directly from the Impressionistic style, how you don't see the full landscape, but you just see the kind of the cropped image, and it kind of gives the viewer a perspective, or kind of, it's almost like a memory into what Sargent was seeing at this time. It's also a leisure scene, and it uses all of these pure colors like these whites, but in contrast, it also has this dark mountain in the background, which I thought was super interesting. As I looked more and more into this piece, I kind of saw how these sharp, direct, straight lines were kind of in contrast to these organic lines in the back from the mountains. And you see Sargent's technique of putting oil directly on a canvas is used here. And you see his brush strokes more and more in the background. I also noticed that it was dusk, and you see this warm light kind of highlighting the woman as she dances, and you see the new moon rising over in the background. I thought that that was super interesting. I noticed that lots of the attention of this painting was on the woman dancing right here, and I think that's not only just because she was kind of his muse, but I think that kind of the beauty and the way that she is drawn or painted, is indicative of like a feminist methodology, how she's kind of the center of this painting. Even this man is mesmerized by her dancing as he plays for her. And I always love pieces that kind of have woman as the center piece of it. So I mentioned the story of the woman dancing on, or myself dancing on a rooftop with friends in Athens. And I think that's kind of why this piece holds more of an intrinsic value for me, as well as I like how Sargent kind of made the Impressionistic technique his own, using darker colors, not just pure light colors in a lightened palette. He also contrasted with the darkness in the mountains. I think that because of the intrinsic value this piece holds for me, it was kind of important for me to choose this one, and I really love Sargent's work, and I've seen more of it since, so that's kind of why I chose this piece.